Larsa, baby girl. Now you know you was being petty at that runway show. You know it. And I happen to love every bit of it. Welcome to my channel where we discuss all things Real Housewives. Today I'm here to discuss Real Housewives of Miami Season 7, Episode 2. Before we do so, please do me a favor and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please don't hesitate to leave a comment. This episode starts off at a place called Tanuki. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Tanuki, I'm not sure. But I did catch the name. So Lisa, Gertie, and Adriana are all meeting up for some girl talk. So the first thing they get into is Adriana and her new man that she premiered at last week on the season premiere. We found out he was a French aristocrat, and she was pretty much all over him at Jordy's party. They was pretty much making a soft porn video in the corner somewhere. And it was giving, all right, is he an escort or something? Are you paying him? Yeah, you know, what's going on? Are you paying him? What's going on? But yeah, so she's ecstatic and she's glowing and she's like, oh, he makes me look young or whatever. So now they get on the subject of Alexia, and it's like, what's up with Alexia? Because, you know, it's like, she claims, like, it was basically like once, like not too long ago, she was crying, you know, pretty much crying on all of our shoulders, and now it's like nothing ever happened. So they kind of confused about that. So then Lisa lets the girls know that she got chosen to asked to walk at Milan Fashion Week. She's excited about that. She's literally leaving like tomorrow to fly to Milan. Then she also tells them about her dad and the situation, about the bad news she got about her dad and him having to go back on the ventilator, or yeah, I think that what it was. But you know, she was telling them about that. But then she also tells them too how Larsa's gonna be in Milan, and she's not really, you know, excited about that. She feel like it's gonna be awkward based on what happened at Jody's party. She kicked Larsa out of her house pretty much. So it's like, oh, now they have to be in Milan together at the same fashion show. So now Adriana says that she feels Larsa was out of line. Like, she's like, how you come to somebody's house and you calling the host bitch and all these names and going off cursing me out? Like, I don't blame you, Lisa, for putting her out pretty much. And Gertie was like, well, let's just hope that she doesn't make it all about her when y'all in Milan. And Lisa is like, girl, you know she is. So we'll see. Soon to come. So now we see Larsa. She's at her condo and she's there with her son Preston, because we find out her son Preston, who's 22, we find out that he's also been asked to walk in the runway show for a designer named Philip Klein. I never heard of him, but based on what I saw at the fashion show, I know you now, baby, and I'm definitely gonna be getting some pieces, okay? So yeah, he's in the Philip Klein show. She said that he originally asked her to walk, but she was scared she might mess up, so she asked if her son could walk, and she wants him to have this opportunity because he's into modeling. She has 2 sons, and she said that out of her 2 sons, he's the artistic one, he's the creative one, so that's why she wanted to get him into modeling. So then they're getting ready to go, because I guess it's the day of their flight. So they're leaving. So I guess this is the next day from the scene we just saw with Lisa, because she was telling Adriana and Gertie that she's leaving tomorrow. But now for this next scene, we see Larsa with her son, and she's telling him, do you have your passport? Because they're headed to the airport. And she's like telling him, come on, we got to catch the plane. And I must say, a side note, I did enjoy seeing Larsa be a mom. Not for nothing, we don't see too many scenes of Larsa with her kids. So seeing this was refreshing. I enjoyed seeing her be a mom. She was on top of him like, baby, you got your passport? Let's go. We got to go. Come on, get appointed. She was on top of him, baby, and he was giving like, please, give me a break. Like, so now Larsa is wondering if Lisa is going to be on the same flight as her, because she's trying to avoid Lisa, and she starts to try to talk to her son about the situation. Her son is pretty much giving, like, I don't really want to talk about her, like, you know, this is work for me. And now they're in their car on the way to the airport, and he's telling her, like, this is work for me, and pretty much like, Ma, I don't have time for you and your friend drama. Like, I'm going to do my runway show. I'm focusing on that. Okay? So now we see Lisa, and she's over at the condo her and Jody share. And she's getting ready for Milan. She's packing, getting dressed, and getting her makeup done and all that. So she's on the phone with Jody. She calls Jody, or he calls her, I'm not sure. But they're on the phone with each other, and he's like, I guess gonna meet her out there. So we find out that she has walked a few shows in Canada before, and she's done a few magazines. So modeling is something she has stepped her feet into before. And she says that that's actually how she got her visa to come over to the States, by doing modeling. So Lisa is originally from Canada, and she feel like, you know, even though did she say her age? I think she in her 40s maybe. But she pretty much was like, she still got it. Because she was like, they inviting me to runway shows, so I still got it. Okay, I'm walking with 18 and 18-year-olds, and I'm trying to keep up, all right? So now we go over to this Pilates place. I think it was called Reforming Pilates. But we see Alexia and Julia, they're finishing up a Pilates session. So they finish up and they leave out. And they start to talk about Jody's party and the whole rift between Lisa and Larsa. Alexia feels like they both crossed the line. They both were saying disrespectful things and mean things to each other, and that they need to just sit down and talk, because she's not trying to take sides, and she feel like they're both wrong, but she also see where they're both coming from. So now she asked her about Gertie. But how Gertie came up is because she said, I don't want them to turn into how Larsa and Gertie was last year, because last season Larsa and Gertie were beefing. So then she asked Julie, so what's up? Talking about Gertie, like, how's you and Gertie? What's going on with y'all? So Julia tells Alexia about the whole text message Gertie sent her after she found out the news about her getting the boys, after Gertie left out the group chat and Julia didn't let her back in. So when Gertie found out, she sent her a text saying congrats. So Julia feels like that was cold. Then we finally find out what else is going on, a little bit of it more, because it has to be more, because this can't be it based on what I'm hearing. So basically, we find out that she said there was, a few months ago, she was supposed to go on a cruise. Martina had a health scare, so she couldn't go no more. So she said she called Gertie and was telling her about it, like basically venting to Gertie, telling her because she was scared. So she said Gertie volunteered to go on a cruise with her in Martina's place to basically be emotional support for her, so she wouldn't be there worried about Martina for the whole cruise. So she said Gertie got out there, and she said Gertie made it all about publicity and her publicity team and all that. And pretty much she said that something happened where she got a text. Gertie sent her a text because they were supposed to do dinner, and I guess the reservations were moved because the venue was having a private party, and Gertie sent her a text basically saying, like, I thought you were supposed to be taking care of me. I came here with you, like, and you ain't even taking care of me, or whatever, this and that. But anyway, bye. I'll talk to you later. So she feel away about that. And I'm like, Julia, this is what you mad about? Like, I'm like, Julia, you got too much going on right now to be beefing with Gertie. Especially the fact that, you know, Gertie is just like getting past cancer, beating cancer, just like your wife Martina beat cancer. So of all the people on this cast, I feel like you, of all people, should have some grace for Gertie. And I feel like this is just too much. I feel like it's a one-way beef, because Gertie don't even know what's going on probably. And I'm sure she doesn't. So anyway, Julia asks Alexia how she's doing. And Alexia, you know, is like, oh, I'm okay. I'm trying, going day by day. So she lets Julia know that Todd has 30 days to file the divorce. They notify him, the courts notify him that because he filed for the divorce but never took any action after that. So I guess, I don't know if it's been a year or 2 years or whatever. I think it's been 2 years later, yeah, because this happened in 2022. So 2 years, I guess it's been 2 years now. Or maybe it was last year, because they probably recorded this last year. So whatever, a year has passed, whatever amount of time has passed, which is the limit. And I guess they contacted him and let him know, hey, we see you filed a divorce. We have this on file. You requested a divorce. We have it on file. And basically, we want to know, do you want to proceed with this? So they was giving him 30 days to either go ahead and proceed and file for the divorce, or they was going to throw it out. So she pretty much said that she was leaving it up to him, like the ball is in his court. And I was like, the ball is in his court? What? Girl, like, you giving this man too much power. First of all, he packed his stuff and left you. He went and found a whole new place to stay a whole month in advance, had it set up, got you out the house, moved out, filed for divorce, took you out to dinner, screwed your brains out, and within a matter of days, he done moved out. So, girl, like, the ball in his court, girl, the ball been in his court and he done dunked it on you. What are you, Alexia, you being real stupid. Anyway, so now we go over to Milan. We're in Milan, Italy, and we see Lisa and Jody arriving from out the airport. And we also see Larsa and Preston, but we show them in different, scenes. They don't show them together. We find out, Lisa said that they was on the same flight, but they didn't speak to each other. So I'm like, oh boy. So now, as they go, we see Larsa and her son Preston, they going, and when they looking, she said all she saw was the sign now with the man holding, you know how the men be holding up the sign at the airport for people? So the sign was like, Pippin and Hochstein, which is Lisa's last name. So she's like gagging, like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Are we riding together? She asking the man, like, seriously, it's only one car? We have to ride in the same car? So she's gagging, she's over it. So good thing it's the SUV or whatever. So it's like they don't have to be like all in each other's face. So she's trying to sit as far away from as possible. So now Lisa and Lisa, I'm about to say Lenny. Sorry, I was doing that on my last preview. My best friend let me know. I was saying Lenny instead of Jody. So Lisa and Jody now come and she's like, hey, it's awkward. So they come in and Lisa's like, oh, I'm gonna sit over here. So then I just Larsa asked where Jody was going to sit, and she was like, he's gonna sit right here unless you want him to sit next to you. And Larsa was like, no, thank you. So it's already a little bit of shade already, but it's not, too much. So they sitting there and it's mad quiet and it's mad awkward, okay? So now Larsa is talking about, oh, I don't really want to do this because, this is about Preston. I'm here for him and his modeling, so I don't want to make this about what we got going on. So Lisa's like, oh, that's nice. So Jody was like, oh, it's been nice for 10 minutes. Let's see how this goes. Lo and behold, Larsa decides she wants to bring up how she feels about the Marcus situation. She feels like she's upset, she feels away, and Lisa basically says that she doesn't like how Larsa at the party had said the comment about Marcus said Jody was cheap or whatever. She felt like that was a low blow. And, Jody also feels a way about that because he's like, you come to my party and you coming to me about something online that I didn't even see, a post I didn't even see. So now Larsa feels like she can't be friends with somebody if they bash on her friend publicly, so she don't understand why Lisa and Jody is still cool with Marcus. And it's like, Lisa is not cool with Marcus. Jody is cool with Marcus. Lisa can't control who her man is cool with. And you and Jody are not friends like that for you to expect him to stop being somebody else's friend. Like, they're bros. Or at least Jody might think they're bros. You might know otherwise because she told him. She was like, he's not really your friend. Like, he's using you to get to me. And if you want to believe in your fairy tale mind that that's your friend, then hey. So, and Jody is like not believing her. He's like, so why should I believe you? Because she was like, how you gonna believe me or that you knew for years, or him who you knew for like 5 minutes? He was like, well, how am I supposed to believe you? Basically, like, me and you not close like that. So she told him, like, if you believe that, you're a psycho. Like, if you don't believe that, that's a psycho. You're a psycho. So it was just like, So now Lisa reminds her, like, girl, like, Preston is in the car. Preston, why we doing this in front of Preston? And Preston is just sitting there acting like he's asleep. He don't want no parts of this. So then Lisa tells her, like, I just got some bad news about my dad. He just went on a ventilator, so I'm stressed out right now. I don't need this. So Larsa like, well, why you came then? So Lisa like, excuse me, what you mean? So Larsa like, if your dad, like, because Lisa said, I don't know if my dad gonna be here next week or has a week to live or not. So Larsa was like, if your dad only has a week to live, then why are you here? Shouldn't you be home with him? Like, why you shouldn't have came? I was like, oh, Larsa is a mess. So we go back to Miami now. We're at plastic surgery specialist in Miami, of South Florida, sorry. So we see Gertie and Russell arriving, and they're going in for a checkup. So Gertie lets us know that she recently had breast reconstruction surgery. She got her implants taken out. She was a D cup, so now she's like a little B. And she also said she did some fat grafting from her waist and her back to put in her breasts to like fill them out, you know, to make them look like a nice full B, okay? So now they pretty much, the doctor was examining her breasts, and they pretty much show her breasts. I mean, they blurred out the nipples, but I was like, damn, I felt like I was looking at titties on the screen. I was like, all right, whoa, okay. So the doctor tells her that the right nipple looks good, but he said the left breast, it still has a little bit of, it has a lot of stigmata from her radiation therapy. So basically they have to plan for the next procedure. They have to do another procedure. And he told her like it usually takes about 3 surgeries to complete breast reconstructive surgery. So Russell feels a little, he seems a little kind of like hesitant, but she's like, you know, I want this, like, and the doctor tells her we're not going for perfection. We just trying to, you know, fix it. And she like, yeah, I understand that, but you know, she still want to be sexy. She still want to feel sexy for her man. Like, she's not at her best right now. She don't feel 100% confident, and she wants to be there. So she reassures Russell, like, please, let me just do this surgery, and, you know, this should be it after that. But I just want to make it right. I just want to feel comfortable. So he's riding with her. Next, we go over to Marisol's home with Steve, that she shares with Steve, her husband. Well, they're married, but not legally in America. But we find out they are getting married in about a week. They're having sake, and they're having some type of Asian cuisine, and they're talking. So she's excited that they're finally getting legally married. They got married in 2 other countries, but not in America. So now they're finally getting in America, and it's going to be official and legit in the States here, okay? Congratulations. So basically, she tells him, they start to talk about Alexia, and she lets him know that she feels like when Alexia's with Todd, she's a different person. Todd brings out the worst in her. She says when she's with Todd, she's angry and she's defensive all the time. But since they've been separated, she finally has her friend back, and she's excited because she's being herself. And she said that basically she felt like Alexia was acting up because of her environment in the home, what was going on in the home. She said Todd was basically constantly picking on her and making her feel less than. So she felt Alexia was affected by her environment, and that's what made her get, you know, pissy and stink with her friends. So she doesn't think that he is the right man for her, and she's hoping Alexia can get this through her head and realize that this is not who you need to be with. Like, you're a beautiful woman, and he's just not the one for you. Now we go back over to Milan, and we see Larsa and Preston. They're arriving to the hotel room, and it's a really nice room, and they're settling in. They're gonna settle in or whatever. So she's trying to talk about Lisa. She's asking him what he thought about the situation with Lisa's father and all that. And he's like, that's her business. Like, you know, I'm here to work. I don't want to talk about her. Like, please. Like, once again, Mom, leave me alone. Like, so now the global ambassador, his name is Jack. He arrives to the room. So Preston's gonna go take a shower and get ready. And Jack lets him know that they have a fitting in the showroom in an hour. Now we see Lisa and Jody. They arrive to their in their room now, and Lisa's getting herself together. And she's also waiting on an update from her brother about her dad. So she's kind of on pins and needles about that. And Jody's coming to talk to her, and he asked her, you know, how she feel about what happened in the van with Larsa. And she basically was offended about what Larsa said regarding her father. Like, you shouldn't be here. Why is you here if your father, you know, got less than a week to live? She felt like, you know, Larsa was kind of like overstepping her boundaries, I guess you can say. So now we see Larsa, Preston, and the global ambassador Jack, and they're on their way to the Philip Plein showroom. So they in the car, and then they arrive. So they arrive in there, they're looking at some of the clothes, and then the designer, Philip, he comes out to check Preston out because he never met Preston. So he's like, you walking at my runway show. He want to see Preston walk, and he's checking him out. He's telling Larsa, if this don't work out, I'm putting it on you, girl. Okay, this was your idea. So he better turn this out. So he, he's getting him dressed in his clothes and have him walking the runway and stuff and talking to him, giving him some pointers. And Larsa, she's proud. So she tells us a story about one time when Preston forgot his Spanish book and he called her, was crying like he can't do his homework. So she jumped in her Ferrari and drove like 100 miles an hour to his school and paid the janitor or the custodian to let her come in and give him the book, and then took him home to do his homework. And I was like, this story sounds a little far-fetched. Is this a true story, Larsa? Anyway, so then the cameraman asked her, how much did she pay the custodian? I think she said like $50. And I guess back then that was a lot, So now, as Preston is walking for Philip, he's asking her about Lisa, and she's like, that's not my friend no more. We not speaking. And then she was like, would you be mad if she fell, if I tripped her and pushed her down the steps or something? And I'm like, Larsa, So now we go back to Miami at Sophia Design District, which is a restaurant. It doesn't sound like it, but that's the name of the place, Sophia Design District, and it's a restaurant. We see Alexia, Marisol, Kiki, and Julia meeting up, and Alexia's friend Johnny that we met, I believe, in season 4. Was that season 4 or season 5? The season when we found out, I believe, that when I believe that was the season when Alexia was finding out that her ex-husband was gay or whatever. Yeah, but I remember I met Johnny before. So we find out Johnny moved to Madrid, but he's out here visiting. So she wanted to surprise him and invite some of his friends from Miami for the night to the restaurant. So they all showing up. His friends arriving. So she says that Adriana and Gertie didn't make the list, so they were not invited. And of course, Lisa and Larsa are in Milan, so they couldn't be there either. So now they asking Johnny about Madrid, and he's telling them he loved it and all that. And Alexia, for some reason, they started talking about Spanish guys being circumcised and saying how most of them are not circumcised. So she's asking all the guys at the table if they circumcised. So she also lets us know that when everything first popped off with Todd and everything was happening, Johnny flew back out to come be with her and support her and be there for her. So, that's her true friend. She said, actually, he's like her son to her because he's around her son's Peter age. So she said he's just a great person and she loves him. So Marisol asks her about the status of divorce and everything. And then she tells them about the whole notification he got 30 days to do it or not. So, and she basically saying how the ball's in his court. Once again, it's on him. So Kiki in her confessional was saying to him, like, Alexia was like one of the strongest women I knew. So I'm kind of surprised to see her being so weak right now. Let me take a sip of my water, y'all. My throat's dry. All right, that was a little bit more than a sip, but... Ooh. So Alexia says that Todd, at first he liked the show, everything was cool, but then he started to not like the show. He didn't like how some of her friends was talking about him. So he didn't, he started basically to feel away. So she says that she offered to step down from the show. She told him, you are more important, I love you, my marriage is more important than the show. And homeboy told her, it's already too late. It's too late now, boo. My mind is made up. I was like, oh, all right. So, yeah, so Marisol feels like he's trying to use the show so he could, he's basically slow walking it and he's keeping her at bay because of the show, and he don't want to look bad, so that's why he not going full force with the divorce right now, so he don't look like the villain. And basically Alexia basically said it, yeah, he's trying to control the narrative. And then she basically, I guess, is feeling it, and she starts to let stuff slip. She was like, I'm not trying to bash him or whatever. She basically said that he doesn't own all the shit he's done or whatever, and she told him that he doesn't make her feel emotionally safe. And she was like, you know, we ride around in your rented car and your rented apartment. Nothing's real. You don't own nothing. I don't own nothing. So everybody's gagging like, ooh, all right. So then she basically Kiki says to her, like, Larsa, you're one of the strongest people I know. And she like, I know, like, I'm just so weak for this man when it comes to this man. And she started crying or whatever. And I'm like, oh gosh. So now, Alexia basically, Marisol is telling her, honey, you met a narc, meaning narcissist. Basically, she was like, we all come across, we all meet a narc, you know, at some point. I had a narc, you had a narc. So basically, she's saying how she's leaving it up to him, pretty much the ball in his court. She says she knows that he wants her to file for divorce so he could be like, look what she did to me, and she could be the villain and he could try to change the narrative, but she's not doing that. She said, you want this? You the one that filed, you left, so keep that same energy, go through with it, or whatever. So, and she like, how he left as a coward and how he's gonna do it as a coward, how he's gonna leave as a coward. So Julia basically said she can't get over the fact how he did that whole moving thing when Frankie was there. So she was like, so it's like when I see him, when I see pictures, even when I went out to dinner and I saw you and him, she was like, when I see him, I'm saying hi, but I'm looking at the person who did this to Frankie. And then Alexia is just that right there, you know, bringing up her kids. So Alexia is like, you know what, fuck him. Like, when it comes to my kids, fuck him. So she breaks down and starts crying. So they all like, oh, coming around her. And I'm just like, girl, keep that same energy, please, because this man is playing you. So now, back in Milan, we see Larsa and Jack, the global ambassador, arriving for the Philip Klein runway show. Lisa is backstage, and we see Preston's back there too. So she go to check up on him, like, you know, I gotta be in Mama Bear mode right now because your mom not back here with us. So we see how Larsa and Jack are sitting, and Jody arrives, and he goes, Jack greets him, and Jack tells him, come sit with us. So they all sitting together now. So Larsa in her confessional was like, Jody who? He just another face in the club to me, as far as I'm concerned. So Jody was letting them know that when Lisa was rehearsing, she took a couple of wrong turns and almost fell. So Jack is like, Larsa, you don't have any marbles, do you? And Larsa's like, no, but she is a faller. So now the runway show begins. So the first model comes out, and the second model happens to be Preston. So he comes out with this, like, kind of like streetwear suit with, like, one of those man bags, like, kind of, what do you call that? Duffel bag, but over-the-shoulder bag. You know what I'm talking about. So Jack is asking Jody, like, what number is Lisa? And Jody tells him she's, like, 50-something. So Larsa is, and so Jack is like, oh, and Preston is second. So Preston is pretty much opening the show. Like, Philip must love him. So here go Larsa. Yeah, and Lisa's number 50. So they laugh at the kid over that. And I don't know if Jody caught that or not. So when Lisa finally comes out, why would Larsa decide, as soon as Lisa's coming down the runway, this is when she want to take selfies. So she's telling Jackie, come on, let's take a selfie together. Let's take selfies. So they taking selfies. Like, I love you. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, Larsa, you is so petty now. This is the kind of housewife shade I love. I live for this kind of shade. Taking selfies when your frenemy is coming down the runway. So yeah, so you see Jody. So Jody looking, and so he like, oh, she did good. So now they doing they all coming out for the end or whatever. So that's when all the models is coming out together for the finale part. So Jody, after the finale, Lisa comes and they're like, you see Jack, he's like, Lisa cheering her on, so she blows a kiss at them. So now she goes backstage, and Jody comes backstage to meet her backstage, and he's asking her, was that kiss about Larsa and them? Was you doing that for them? And she was like, yeah, I was letting them know Boo-boo, okay? I'm doing me. And she said it in her confessional. She saw Larsa taking a photo. She was like, I already see Larsa doing that, trying to be shady. But you know what, girl? I did my thing. The people saw me anyway. What happened? She was like, Larsa could kiss my ass in her confessional. So now, we see Larsa. She's proud of Preston. And saying, they asked her, do you think he would have been able to do this without you? And she's like, no. So anyway, so now it's time for the after party. So they at the after party, and it's awkward because they're not speaking to each other. So then Larsa finally comes up to her and tells Lisa, you know, we need to talk when we get back to Miami. I want to talk. You know, I don't want to do this here, but when we get back to Miami, we definitely need to have a conversation. Lisa in her confessional says she doesn't like Larsa's approach. She feel like she doesn't appreciate her tone and the way she's been talking to her lately, and it kind of reminds her of, you know, what she dealt with in the past. So we see flashbacks of Lenny talking crazy to her, talking down to her, being just mad disrespectful to her. And she's like, she not putting up with that no more. Ain't nobody talking to her like that no more. And you know what, Lisa, I feel you on that, because baby, once you get your backbone and you stand up to your oppressor, it's like, can't nobody talk to me like crazy no more. And I respect that, because Larsa do be talking to people crazy. Larsa is real reckless with her mouth, honey. But Lisa is too, so I can't front. I love to see these two go back and forth and go at it, because they be a key, honey. I be like, these girls is a mess. They go under the belt, though. They be going under the belt with it. But yeah, so now, guess who's at the party, honey? Fabolous. I'm like, what is Fabulous doing here? But you know, Fabulous is in the fashion now. Funny joke, or side note, it was the post Fabulous had, and he had on this outfit, because you know, Fabulous been dressing kind of weird lately with the baggy bell bottoms and tight tops and stuff. So they was like, Fab went from being a street nigga to somebody's stud auntie. I was like, no, they not coming for Fab like that. So yeah, so they talking to Fab, and it's, for some reason, they're telling Fab about their drama, and they're like, you know, and Fab looked like he was happy for the camera time, honey, because he was all in the camera. Honestly, it looked like they had to get rid of him. But yeah, so they all telling him, Larsa's like, you from Brooklyn, right? So you know loyalty. So she like, if you break up with somebody, your friends shouldn't be, and they talking bad about you online, why is your friend still cool with them and being online, following them? So Fab like, nah, you shouldn't be still cool with somebody when they come up for your friend like that. That's not cool. That's not, you know, friend code, girl code. So then Lisa's like, yeah, but also you can't be coming to my house disrespecting me, calling me bitches and all that. So Fab like, yeah, nah, you can't do that either. He's like, you know, you can't be still hanging out with her ex, and you can't be disrespecting her, calling her bees and all that. So then I guess Larsa said something about Jody, the boyfriend, and that's when Fab was like, well, you can't really tell her boyfriend who to hang around. So both of them feel like Fab was on their side. Lisa was like, Fab definitely stuck on my side. And Larsa's confessional, she was like, Fab is definitely on my side. So, so yeah. So anyway, Lisa starts looking for Lenny, because she's like, where's Lenny? She don't know where Lenny's at. So Larsa's like, what happened? Where he at? And she was like, I don't know, because he was feeling away. He feels lonely and ignored right now. And Larsa's like, this is a work thing. You know, you working right now. This is what we got to do. He know that. So Lisa's like, yeah, so she's looking for him. And basically, on the screen came a message saying, the camera shut down for the night, but tensions between Lisa, Jody, and Larsa escalated. So now we see 1 week later, Larsa is sitting down with all the girls, and Lisa's not there. She's with all the other girls on the cast, and she's telling them how, oh, me and Lisa started to get along a little bit, but then, baby, on the last night of Milan, she said Jody went off. She was like, he was all yelling at us, telling us not to talk. She was like, he went crazy. So she started to show them something on their phone, and that's how the episode ended, with the girls gagging. Like, whenever they saw what was on the phone, they was gagging. So I'm like, what the hell happened? So basically, that's how the episode ended. I did enjoy this episode. This was another good episode. I'm going to honestly say this episode was a 4, just like the finale, just the premiere. To be honest with you, the premiere was a 4.5. I want to say 5. The premiere was everything. So this one, I want to say it was a 5. The premiere was a 5. It was an excellent episode. It was an A+, the premiere episode. So I'm going to change my episode. I'm changing my score for episode 1 from a 4 to a 5. And for this episode, I'm going to give this episode a 4.5. This was a really good episode. Miami, y'all coming back strong. Some good episodes. They're keeping me entertained. I'm loving it. And keep it coming, ladies, mommies. Anyway, I did see Watch What Happens Live. Alexia and Marisol were on Watch What Happens Live. And John Mayer, the singer, was behind the bar. And it seemed like he was flirting with Alexia. They had a little flirtation thing going on. I was like, okay, Alexia, you better drop that zero and get with this hero. So anyway, Alexia, basically, they was asking Alexia, because remember, this all happened like last year, I guess, when they was filming. So they asked Alexia, what's the status of her and Todd's divorce? Are y'all divorced? What's going on? Did he ever go through with it? So she says, yes, they are divorced, but they're still seeing each other. Look, I'm just saying what she said, okay? Also, she said that they asked her when the last time they've been intimate. She said it was in the past few days. And also, she said that she regrets saying that everything was rented because Ty has no financial issues whatsoever, despite what Adriana says. And I'm like, I'm like, Alexia, please. I don't believe that. But anyway, tell me what you guys think about this episode. What you give it on a scale from 1 to 5? What you think about Lisa and Larsa's little rivalry they got going on? Are you team Lisa or are you team Larsa? And what do you think about this whole fake beef with Gertie and Julia? Do you feel like Julia has like a right to feel how she feels, or do you feel like she's kind of just being extra and making a problem? I don't know. I just feel like it's a one-sided beef, but for right now, that's all I know. So we're gonna find out more and see what's going on, because it seems like Gertie is even unaware that there's even a beef. So I don't know, guys. But anyway, thank you for checking me out. Be sure to check out my Real Housewives of Atlanta review tomorrow, and my next review for Miami, which should be Friday. But in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. It's really hot here in New York City, and I'm just trying to stay calm. See y'all.